Welcome to the Black Order Book Club.
I couldn't think of a better place to unveil our first book, or books, if you will, than here. And why, you may ask? Well, that is because we are doing Daredevil by Brian Michael Bendis.
Now, why did I choose Daredevil by Brian Michael Bendis? Well, that's a pretty easy answer. Now, no offense to Frank Miller, Ed Brubaker, Mark Waid, Chip Zdarsky, or anybody else that has written this character. This run right here is the Daredevil run. Hands down, bar none. Now, I know what you're saying. Zach, I am not... So, I've given you the story we're doing. I've given you a tier to match your reading style and your pace, so you have no excuses. We'll see you mid-May for our little catch-up and see how everybody's doing. But until then, judgment approaches.
All right. Hey, everybody, it's me, Zach, aka Tales of a True Believer here. I am joined by my buddy Bruce, Kingdom of Nerds, and our fellow Black Order brother, Mike. Oh, guy there. Did I say that correctly?
Well, yeah, that's me.
Hey, it's a great name, man. I love it. Welcome to the Black Order Book Club, our first midway check-in episode in our first month of doing this thing. So bear with me here. Also my first time live streaming, so we'll see how I do. What's up, Collector P? What's up, Paul? How you doing? Good to see you.
Paul.
So here's how things are going to go today. Gonna run through some of the big arcs here in the first half of the run. Mike and I have both read Daredevil. We're both big fans of Daredevil. Bruce here is not. So while we have Bruce with us today, we're going to try and hopefully convince him to hopefully read this run and maybe read some more Daredevil and all that lovely jazz. So anyways, how you guys doing today? How you doing, Mike?
No complaints. It's Sunday, trying to soak in as much lazy as I can before we get back to the hamster wheel of work.
Yep, I feel that. How about you, Bruce?
I don't even know why I'm here. I got suckered into this last minute. I was going to be in the backstage as moral support, but then you guys convinced me to listen to your arguments why I should read Daredevil, Bendis run, and I'm going to listen to both of you guys. Everyone knows, if you watch my show, that I'm not the biggest Daredevil fan. I thought the show was bored. Daredevil bored again. Not interesting, not exciting, but maybe this Bendis run will make me want to read it and get to know the character a little more. Who knows?
Hey,
All right.
Mike, I like our odds, Mike.
Before we dive into that, is your reservation on the characters based solely upon the TV show, or like I'm just trying to figure out like where we need to approach this barrier from? Like, what is it about the character, excuse me, that doesn't hook you? Because damn, he's interesting.
It's, I don't know. I've tried in the past to read Daredevil stuff. It's, I don't know. It just seems like every other run it's Daredevil and Kingpin, Daredevil Elektra, Daredevil Kingpin. It's just never really grabbed me and made me want to read it. You know, it's not because I hate all Marvel like people think. And I do hate blind people. Thanks, Callie, for pointing that out, because you're an asshole. But I just never been a fan of Daredevil, Punisher, Moon Knight.
Oh,
What? That's me.
I'm with you. I'm a huge street level Marvel guy. So like
I'm
all
not.
these characters.
all right.
I guess that's it. I'm not a street level guy. I'll tolerate Spider-Man when there's good writing, and Marvel decides to put some big names on Spider-Man title and give us good stories. But
No, I'm with you on that.
I've always been more of a X-Men, Thor, and sometimes Avengers. Never any of the street level stuff.
I think for Daredevil, especially, what makes his character so compelling is it's very relatable. Even as far as like his highs and lows, like he's a hero that wants to do right for his community as well as himself and those around him, constantly being teared at, and his morals are being tested in a way that very few other heroes are. And you juxtapose that with the way that he was brought up with his dad being a very hands-on, like, hey, we resolve all of our issues with our fists, we don't back down from a challenge, and his faith, with, well, not even touching that, but there's a lot of guilt as far as like, an accountability for your actions. And then the fact that he goes out and at night and handles it like his dad would, and in the daytime he puts on a suit and tries to square that. There's a lot of different dimensions to Matt that
Yeah.
very few other superheroes have to deal with. And he's constantly looking himself in the mirror like, am I doing the right thing? Am I a good person, or am I the person that I would be fighting against in a different circumstance? And again, it's rare that heroes have that self-reflection and awareness.
Yeah, and this run is all. I mean, what you just said is basically just encapsulate this entire run, because this happens a lot throughout at least this first half here of what we're going to talk about. But just to give you guys a little rundown here, let me see if I move this correctly. Boom. Nope, I don't want to do that way. Right? Anyways, I'm going to cover my face while these guys are good. But this is just how. Oh, thank you, Bruce. So this is the tiers. This is the book club that I kind of came up with here. Tier 1 was just reading 6 of these stories. Ivan was kind and said you only had to read 3. Tier 2 was reading the full run from beginning to end, and then Tier 3 was reading the full run, and then a couple extra Bendis Daredevil things. So I haven't yet finished. I'm about halfway through everything here, really enjoying it, and I'll probably go to the Tier 3 here and get those extra ones done by the end of the month. But how about you, Mike? What have you been reading?
I'm all the way up to Trial of the Century.
Oh, yeah.
So that's, we could finish this off and do another one at the end of the month if you want.
Yes, that's exactly what we're doing for sure.
Totally down for that. So with that, let's dive into it. Kick it off, man. Underboss.
Yeah, hey, so yeah, we're on Underboss. So just to give you a little setup here, Kingpin blinded before. All right. For those of you that would like to get in there, I'm not going to get into too many spoilers here, but I will actually.
How old is this story?
Yeah, I was just literally about to pull a flag. I mean, anybody who cries about spoilers, stop it. This story is over 20 years old.
It is.
Unless you just got into comics, stop it. Get some help.
Yes, get some help. But I'm going to be respectful of you and your help needing. So I'll have that up there.
I'm not.
It's up there. But
if you're going to complain about spoilers, bitch, please. That's all I have to say. Bitch, please.
Oh, that's hilarious. Anyway,
with that being said, go ahead.
With that being said, bitch, please. Good. I'll get a little bitch, please out of here. Basically, here's what happens in this story. Kingpin has been blinded before in a run before this. He knows the secret identity of Matt Murdock as Daredevil, and his son Richard knows that this is also the case. And so a new guy named Sammy Silk here, who is douchebag numero uno, comes onto the scene. His dad is a head of a family in Jersey, and he comes in and wants to change some things, talks to Richard, and they concoct a plan to take down Fisk and take over the underworld for themselves. Well, Sammy's more specifically, and they succeed in that and take down the Kingpin. So when this goes down, chaos ensues in the underworld in New York City. Vanessa Fisk comes back, and big time dealio here, kills her own son for taking out her husband and his dad. They transport Fisk out of the country to get fixed up because he, surprise, surprise, lives. And we need to retcon getting his eyes back. So they take Fisk off the board for a while, and chaos ensues. Like the owl shows up. The owl kind of fills that void and starts slanging mutant drug hormones, or a mutant drug, whatever you want to call it, that turns you into gives you superpowers for like an hour, I would say.
Yep, gives you a temporary power boost.
Yeah, like a temporary power boost, if you will. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really, it's not so much a Daredevil story as much as it's like a crime noir story. And what interested me out the gate here is that it wasn't so much focused on Matt. It was more focused on the world around him and setting up the world around him, and then plopping him in here with some crazy information in volume 2 that we'll get into. But yeah, well, I just want to get your thoughts on, Mike. What were your thoughts on Sammy Silk and Richard and Fisk getting taken off the board pretty early on in the story?
For me, what I love the most about this is when Vanessa got rid of her son. It was vicious, it was brutal, and it was another one of those love stories only told in comics, where she's such a ride or die for Wilson that she's just like, no, you not only betrayed the man that I love, but you betrayed him in such a way to his enemies that there's no forgiveness, there's no walking back. And it really highlights the relationship between Wilson and Vanessa. Like, this is how much she loves her man. This is how much she has his back. I mean, I really can't think of any other way. And the way that she does it, it's not like cold, like a mother eating her young. You know, it's almost like, I don't know how else to describe it, but kind of romantic.
Yeah, that's
You
what I
know,
was thinking as well.
it really is. And exactly, it was a lot of, as far as looping back to the gang war aspect of it, it was reminiscent of something out of Sopranos.
Yeah.
And occasionally Matt would pop up in the background, like, "Hey, don't forget, this is still a Daredevil comic, in case you forgot, because it's easy to do so." It almost feels more like Ed Brubaker Criminal than Daredevil, which again, I'm a big fan of that series, so that was
Same.
great. And it definitely opened up the door not only for Wilson to come back in his normal, usual, big hulking form, being able to see, but it removed him out of the way, gave other characters a chance to kind of jump up, gave Owlsley more relevance than he's had in ever.
Yeah.
I've always kind of thought he was a silly character, but in this particular run, he definitely gets more and more vicious as it goes on, and he almost kind of turns into a more physical Oswald Cobblepot by the time this is wrapped up.
I agree. That's a really great that's a great analogy. 100%.
I have a question for you guys.
Yes.
So the one that tried to kill or destroy Kingpin is his son?
Yes.
And Vanessa chose the love of her husband rather than the love of her son.
Yes.
Correct. And again,
what kind of mother is she?
Right.
Oh.
I mean, what kind of son is that? I mean, you know, if you read the story, it's not just, you know, like I said, like a she wolf, like having no feeling for her young, but what Richard does and the way that he goes about it, and the fact that he thinks he's gonna win the day. He thinks he's like a main character, and he doesn't realize that he's a pawn in a chess piece, which the fact that you're supposed to be the Kingpin's son and you don't even realize how you're being manipulated and moved across the board, that in and of itself is almost unforgivable. Like, you know, even if he had been able to win, it would have been a weak leadership. So sometimes you got to get rid of weakness to strengthen overall, and that's kind of what it was. The fact that she essentially just like kind of like steps out of the shadows at the end and just takes him off the board. I mean, it's cold, man. It's a good read.
And what you'll see later on, we'll get into it, but Fisk's reaction to that when he comes back is even more interesting and even more fun to read for sure. So out of all that kind of comes a situation with the FBI and the FBI getting information about Matt Murdock being Daredevil. And they are, there's a what was it, 4 or 5 pages of them discussing whether they're going to talk about this with anybody or if they're just going to keep this quiet. And the head guy at the of this little unit at the FBI says they're going to keep this quiet because whether it is him or not, Daredevil's done great work for the world, for New York City. He, out of respect for him, let's not do this to him. But in the real world, some people's lives are not as well off as other people's lives. And so one of these FBI agents is struggling to pay money. His life sucks. And he finally gives a call to a buddy in the newspaper. And the newspaper outs Matt Murdock as Daredevil. And that's what leads into number 2 here. And what I really like about the reveal of this is that it's Foggy Nelson going to buy a newspaper. He looks down at the newspaper and you see his face and it's absolutely horrified of like, oh my gosh. And then it cuts to Matt and he's just waking up and it's just it's supposed to be a voiceover, if you will, of him saying, I already know before I wake up, everything's changed now. And lo and behold, he wakes up to absolute chaos and people standing outside his home, paparazzi standing outside his home. Villains are coming to him at his office. He specifically has a conversation with Stiltman where Stiltman just comes to him and just says, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm over this. Hey, I just wanted to tell you, they won't say it to you, but we're all scared shitless of you. So just so you know, I'm out. I'm retired. I'm out of here. And everyone's scared of you. So a lot of really interesting stuff comes out of this reveal. So Mike, what did you think of the reveal? I thought that was a pretty crazy way to go from we take Fisk off the board and now Matt Murdock's identity is supposedly, out there for the world to see. So
I feel like obviously they used bits of that in Spider-Man, the movie at the end when they're like, oh, Peter Parker, Spider-Man. And it's kind of like that, but it's Daredevil. So like you have Stiltman showing up, like he said, at his office, like begging essentially not to get his ass kicked by a blind lawyer. And that's, part of it is they're like, holy crap, this entire time this dude was blind and he did all this to us. Yeah. So we're done. And it was funny because, Stiltman, like king of the E-listers. Yeah. So of course he would be the first one through the door. Matt having to constantly tell people or, again, lie, which ties back into the whole Catholic thing. So he's got to constantly tell people like, no, I'm not Daredevil. Meanwhile, he knows damn well he is. Foggy knows he is. So them two dealing with the fallout of that, trying to keep up that facade, having that leak into his cases, because obviously now that brings up into question all of his workload as a lawyer. So it brings a different aspect to it, which again, before we started this, I mentioned that the battles that Matt deals with are not just fisticuffs on rooftops. A lot of the battles that Matt deals with are just in his day-to-day. It's different. It's like being able to read a story where you see Clark and Superman all the time, and there's actually more relevance to Clark than there is to Superman.
And what's one of my favorite things that I should have touched on, but his relationship with Luke Cage really shifts throughout this process too, because Luke does not respect that he's lying about being Daredevil and that he's denying it in front of everybody, and it causes a huge rift in their relationship where he doesn't even want to hang out with them anymore. And they have a really great scene, if you will, at Luke Cage's apartment where Matt comes to see him and he basically says, you're a liar, dude, and you're not who I thought you were, and I don't want anything to do with you. And then later on comes and saves him from something. But it's really interesting to see how Matt interacts with the rest of the superheroes in the community. Well, at least some of the superheroes in the community when it comes to dealing with this.
I have a question.
Yes.
This whole big reveal of Matt Murdock being Daredevil, is this the first time that's happened in the comic book at this point?
So the Marvel Knights continuity is its own thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, it's the first time in this universe, and you know how comics are, you know. So the Marvel Knights is kind of like no different than the Ultimate line, as far as they existed outside of, like, you know, 616. So it's the first time within that world, although like so many other things, if it's so good here, we'll just bring him in and incorporate into the main alternate, you know. So it's comics, bro. It's the first time it happens in this universe. I guess is the best way to sum it up.
Yeah.
So, and again, the fact that Luke Cage, you know, Power Man, doesn't have to worry about anything, you know. So he's like, man, why don't you just tell everybody that you're Daredevil? And he's like, well, because I'm not invulnerable, right? I don't have super strength. I just hear really good. I mean, at the end of the day, that's really Matt's thing, is like, I can hear really good. Like, okay. I mean, so everything that he does is almost on par with Batman as far as, like, I don't have any powers. Like, it's all training, conditioning, muscle memory, like, you know, skills that he's learned, like, through his training with Stick and whatnot. It's just, yeah.
And
I went
then,
off on a tangent. My bad.
No, but it was a great tangent because it reminded me of, like, he also has a really good relationship with Ben Ulrich at the newspaper. And he knows, and it's kind of an unspoken kind of thing between the two of them. And when this all goes down too, J. Jonah Jameson wants to, you know, go along with the story and, you know, go along with it, whatever, because it's not his newspaper that breaks the story. And Ben says it's not him because he knows who he is, and he vouches for Matt. And it's actually a really powerful little panel, if you will. Because Peter Parker also walks in and vouches for Matt as well, and it just shows that, like, you know, that he has some people out there that are vouching for him, even though they're probably upset with him about how he's handling the situation, because he does not help himself, and he definitely is really impulsive throughout not just this story, but throughout the majority of this first half of this run. He makes a lot of impulsive decisions.
So it's about a lot of these heroes and friends of his feeling betrayed that he didn't tell them, or betrayed that he kept it from the public, or a little bit of both.
I would say more so a kind of a mixture of both. And again, you got those people who feel like, hey, why didn't you tell me? And also those other people that are like, you realize your loved ones are now in danger. Like, you've put everybody at risk that's close to you. So that's kind of that. And again, with Kingpin being out of the way, not controlling the streets, in the backdrop, there's a lot of gangs vying for that void. So things are beating up on the streets as well. It's getting a lot more chaotic. When, again, Owlsley, or the Owl, he's consolidating power in the background when and where he can. He's getting a lot more and more vicious, like more unhinged at this point. He's visceral,
and he's a bumbling kind of, pardon my French, dumbass, and so it makes things even more volatile and even more crazy and out of control, because he is not an inept person or an inept guy whatsoever. And he's got a lawyer with him that's trying to help him run things, and he doesn't listen to him, and it just makes things even worse. So
he's trying to be Kingpin and failing miserably.
Yeah. And you're realizing that, like, man, there's only one guy that can really keep a control of this, and it's Kingpin. But after this, we are at the trial of the century, which they adapted in the first season of Daredevil Born Again. I personally like this more so than the adaptation. I think this is a little more visceral, a little more heartbreaking. And I think Hector goes out in a way more just rough way in the book than he does in the comic. But in the show, he is found not guilty. In the show, he's found guilty and has a. Am I correct on that?
No, you just said in the comic
Oh.
he's found guilty. In the show, he's found not guilty. So for those of you that have watched the show, which I have not, you gotta send him home happy ending. Those of us who actually read the comics, we know that's not the case.
Yes, no,
Sorry.
it isn't. And
we totally jumped at the end. We went from here's this story and here's how it ends.
Yes,
So,
well, my bad. But yeah, he gets caught. Hector gets caught. He's trying to. There's these morons that are trying to rob what would you say, a pawn shop, and he goes in to try and stop them. And tomfoolery happens. Cops show up, and it looks like
tomfoolery.
Yeah, it's a tomfoolery.
I'm hanging out with Cliff too much, or someone.
I am.
Let me grab the reins on this one before this goes way too off. So, White Tiger and his wife were having an argument about, whether or not he should get more involved, stay retired. She wants him to stay retired. He wants to start doing more. He's feeling like his life is out of his control, as so many of us have done times in our life. We try to regress to a point where we felt strength. So he felt he was strongest when he was the White Tiger. So in the course of this discussion, he overhears a burglary in process, dons the costume, runs out to handle it. While that is going on, a bullet is discharged and a cop is murdered. A cop is murdered at the same time. Other cops come around the corner and they see him standing over the body and assume he's the perpetrator. Before he even gets a chance to tell him, like, hey, the people who actually did this are around the corner, they just jump to conclusions, cuff him up, and lock him up. And that's when he goes to Matt to try to be like, hey, I know who you are. You got to help me. And at first, Matt was hesitant, considering everything going on with his identity being out and him trying to refute it. So he tries to, tell Luke, like, hey, man, I can't get involved in this. And of course, he does. He does change his mind. He does decide to get involved. During the course of his involvement, Power Fist actually comes in and helps deflect some of the attention on him by appearing in the courtroom in the costume of Daredevil. So it kind of like, how could Matt be Daredevil when look, there's Daredevil right there? So it was a great way to deflect from that, reset as well. It allowed Matt to focus more on the trial. He tried to do everything that he could. Unfortunately, it was just one of those social commentary comics where everybody had already prejudged White Tiger as guilty, either based upon their experiences with superheroes or, who he is, where he comes from. His character was completely drugged through the mud, and eventually he was found guilty wrongly, and there was nothing that Matt could do there. In the course of it, he freaks out, jumps over the stand, throws off one of the cops, grabs the gun, runs outside, and realizes he's not going to get any justice, and gets shot. Meanwhile, Matt realizes the kid who actually killed the victim was in the courtroom. He tracks him down later on, confronts him, and lets him know, like, hey, man, you better go tell the cops what you did. So while White Tiger's name does get cleared, it is very bittersweet.
I being that I watched this Born Again, they totally missed the mark on that on the way they killed him in the show. That would have been a little more dramatic and a little more heartfelt if they would have did that in the show instead of him walking out of a store and just getting shot in the head.
There's an amazing few pages where Matt's sitting on the rooftop while the jury's deliberating, and he's listening to the arguments that two of the jurors are trying to do the right thing, the lead jurors just bullying everybody, just like this guy's guilty. Let's just go home. I'm tired of sitting here. One of the jurors is like, thinking about the time that her son was killed by, or excuse me, not killed, but arrested by Spider-Man. So technically, she shouldn't have even been on the jury selection because she's prejudiced in regards to superheroes. But they somehow missed that because of everything going on. Matt's not really thinking right, and he hears White Tiger down in his cell just sobbing, knowing that he's cooked. There's so many emotional elements that I'm not even touching on, but
Yeah.
definitely worth a read. Like it
Yeah.
is an amazing, gut-wrenching read, but
Yeah.
worth it.
Being that I'm retired law enforcement, I can actually say that those conversations do happen like that. Having sat outside jury doors while they're deliberating, they're not supposed to put their personal feelings into it, but they do. They do it all the time.
Or human. I mean, we're supposed to be a certain way, but we're not robots, man. We all come with our own slants. That's why there's supposed to be X amount of jurors, so that way everybody can compare notes. And the truth doesn't always win, although it should.
It doesn't.
Agreed. Yeah, it's absolutely heartbreaking, and this scene you're talking about when he is listening to them deliberating is so well done in the book too, and it's just the dialogue is really great, and how it flips back and forth between the jury and Matt. It's a real pleasant read, and this whole thing, and Mike, you probably agree with this. It's such a fast read. It's paced so well, and Cliff, when I was on his show this morning, brought up a really great point that this is when the Bendisisms, if you will, or the Bendis way to write was new, and it didn't feel kind of maybe worn out like it does maybe later on in his career. And so it hits so well. And there's definitely some dated references where some characters will complain about some early 2000s stuff, that may be a little dated, but overall, it's such a really just fun read that you don't realize that you're going through so fast, because it is so heartbreaking. And there's issues like these right here where you're just like, oh my God, dude, like what a rough, it just keeps getting more and more rough as you go along.
For me, what makes this stand out is, like you said, this is the first time this formula was created. Like anybody who's reading Daredevil now, if it's your first time reading through Daredevil, awesome. It's your first exposure to the formula. For longtime readers, at a certain point, it's like when you play a video game, right? And then you realize that your whole point of the video game is either run here and shoot this person or run here and collect stuff. At a certain point, you just recognize the formula. Well, this is the first time that formula was really created. The fact that this run has so many different teams attached to it, so many different writers and artists, and yet it still goes together seamlessly. Like I don't know if you already did the first part, the Kevin Smith run, and the David Mack stuff, but like that leads so well into where Matt's at this particular point. Not to mention, we completely skipped over Mila.
I'm getting there. We were getting to Mila next. We were getting to Mila
okay.
next.
I'm like, man, we skipped over some chunks in between the story.
No, we were getting to Mila next for sure. She just has more of a kind of a big role to play in Low Life. So I was gonna get to more of all the Mila stuff here after this.
Well, Low Life took place before Trial of the Century.
Oh, I had my things mixed up. Yes, you're correct. That's my bad. But anyway, we'll get to Low Life after this.
Well, we'll give you a pass. It's your first stream.
Yeah, first time. I got all messed up on there.
No worries.
I'll make fun of you later.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, thank you.
Or if you tip now, we'll do it right now. No,
yeah.
We got 7 people watching. Hit that like, subscribe. Go out and tell your family members to watch this stream.
Please.
Yeah.
All right, go for it. Low Life.
So Low Life. Sorry, I was getting Callie's comment was hilarious. Low Life is the fallout from Matt's identity being taken out there. He saves this beautiful blind woman named Mila, and she immediately has an infatuation with him, and enough so to go to his office, and whether it's true or not that he's Daredevil, she hits on him. Matt, obviously, who is very weak when it comes to women, starts thinking about her, and this is probably the worst time in his life that he probably should get into a relationship or start venturing down the path to eventually get into a relationship with a woman. But he starts doing it anyway, and he finds out that this girl's actually pretty cool. She's really supportive of him and supportive of all the what's going on with him. But it seems like every time that they get a chance to have a moment of of nice time with each other, something crazy happens. The FBI shows up and questions both of them, or a supervillain shows up at Matt's house in the middle of the night and causes chaos. And so you can just see that Matt, being the impulsive guy, like I talked about earlier, and making decisions that he probably shouldn't be making because of the time frame that the time that is going, or what's going on in the time frame that he is in right now. It makes for a very, very interesting read. But yeah, I mean, Owl starts to grow, starts to get more stuff going on. That starts but comes to a resolution, and Matt can, is starting to really, really go off the rails. I think this is the first of 3 really big things where Matt starts to really lose it, and be really violent when it comes to apprehending an evil individual. But not to get too spoilery, but he kicks Owl's ass, and his lawyer's ass. But yeah, so that's kind of my little kind of semi-spoilery kind of glossing over it there. But if you want to get into the meat and potatoes, Mike, it's all yours.
Well, I'll just touch on like one of the motivation why Matt is so unhinged and aggressive during this, because he's still dealing with the fallout from the death of Karen Page.
Yes.
So he's still been grieving. And now he's finding love again, and he's scared of that. Obviously, here's another person I'm giving my heart to that, in theory, this could be the 3rd chick. I mean, Elektra, Karen Page, she doesn't exactly have a good track record. I mean, he's almost like Batman and his Robins. But, so you got to be a little careful when you love Matt. So he's dealing with that, as well as the fallout of his identity being out on Front Street, with the streets themselves in Hell's Kitchen just being completely a war-torn epidemic. I mean, it's going nuts. All the different factions are just straight out for blood. And
he's in a public trial with the newspaper that outed him, and so he's going through all that, and some stuff goes on with the owner of that paper as well, and so it's just continued chaos, and not just in Daredevil life, but in Matt Murdock life as well. But sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. It's a lot like Nightfall, when Bruce was just constantly reacting to everything, never having a chance to pause and assess, much less rest. It just constantly go, go, go. And then coupled that with the mania of grief. I mean, he snaps. When he finally says enough and grabs a hold of Owl, he lets him know in no uncertain terms, dude, you're done. You're beyond words done. Maybe get a paper route.
Yeah.
Get a paper route. As not a fan or reader of Daredevil, has Matt Murdock been successful in keeping his Daredevil Matt Murdock persona separate, or he's like every other goddamn hero, doesn't know how to manage his life and his secret identity?
Oh, he's a hot mess, dude.
Yeah, hot mess.
Like he never has shit in control, man. Like he's like a messy Batman, bro. That's
a great way to describe him, messy Batman.
Dude, he's all about the ladies. He's like, hey, how's it going? And all the ladies love him, because he's easy on the eyes, and he's got the wounded duck thing going. Oh, he's blind. Let me take care of him. Meanwhile, he's a lawyer. He's got lots of money. He's all cut, and I mean, dude, yeah, no one stands a chance against Matt. Poor Foggy. It's amazing he gets any play.
Yeah, exactly. You'd think that maybe something would wash over to old Foggy,
no, but Matt will grab that too.
Yeah,
Matt's greedy with it.
My God,
that is greedy
with
it.
Like 20s and 30s.
Yeah. But yeah, Bruce. I mean, it what's really great is it's just building and building, and now Matt's like lost it. And
Mhm.
so you get to I'm going to go a little bit further than I thought I would today, but you get to hardcore.
Ooh.
Yeah. And Fisk is back.
But
And
so not only is Fist back, but for those of you wondering why Colin Farrell had that
yes,
weird thing going
yes,
on in the Daredevil movie, it's because of this. If we're gonna get into it, let's do it.
yes.
Why pussyfoot? I'm not the guy to go to the edge and not jump. Let's jump.
So,
So
oh
go
yeah, go
for it.
for it. Bro.
No,
Well,
no, you go for it.
I was just saying, so Fisk comes back, Fisk can see, and Fisk is like, listen, this is my place. This is my town. This is my territory. But he doesn't, how should I say, lead with that. He kind of just comes back and he's behind the scenes. He gets Typhoid Mary back into the fold to come help him do
Yeah.
some stuff, to do something really, really crazy. He starts getting everybody back together and saying, hey, I'm back, and saying, I'm in charge. You're all running through me again. And then he brings Bullseye back into the fold because he needs Bullseye to take care of something for him. So, like I said earlier, Mila and Matt, they can't have any peace. They can't go have a nice dinner with each other. They can't even go for a stroll. Two blind people walking down the street, and Typhoid Mary comes up and just sets Matt on fire, for Christ's sake. So Jessica Jones and Matt have to fight Typhoid Mary. And then they get through that, and Mila and Matt are sleeping over at Matt's house. Matt's like, listen, I know that I've been burnt up and all this stuff, but I got to go out and go fight. I have to wear the costume, and she's super supportive of it. He leaves, and Bullseye shows up and says some just weird, evil stuff to this blind lady about what he's going to do to her because she's blind, and it's going to be horrible for Matt. But then Matt comes and absolutely, let me see if I can find oh, yes, it's right here.
Yeah, you gotta pull it up.
I got to pull it up. Where is it? Boom, boom. Matt shows up and absolutely dog walks this dude. And he has Bullseye shows up with a bullseye tattoo on his forehead. And Matt takes out a knife, dude, and starts just carving the tattoo into his forehead while he's saying, this is for Karen. And just absolutely just screaming at this dude. And it was one of my favorite panels of this whole thing that I was reading. I absolutely, it was so awesome, dude. But what did you think, Mike?
Dude, I mean, I love Bullseye. I love Bullseye so much. He's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Marvel villains. He's unapologetically just psychotic as fuck. So when he shows up and he's telling Mila, hey, this is what's gonna happen. He's gonna watch. He's gonna cry. It means nothing. And we're going to do this dance again because this is what I do and this is what he does. So then when Matt finally shows up and he's like, hey, you're just in time to watch me get the hat trick, first Elektra, then Karen, and now her. And this is going to be my best one yet. Matt's just enraged, and he just beats the living dog shit out of Bullseye.
Yeah, he
Throws him out through the window, smashes him all over. It's actually a shard of the glass that through the window.
That's right.
That he grabs up and he carves into his head, and he's like, this circle is for Elektra. This circle is for Karen, and this mark right here is so you don't miss. And if you really want to get it done, get it done. Like, and it's so good. I don't know how else to say it. It's just like one of those reads where it makes you want to jump up and be like,
yeah, exactly. It really is. Like, Bruce, it's a fun reading experience, whether you like Daredevil or not. It's just fun to see.
I can tell how passionate you guys are about Daredevil. I don't know if I'm convinced to read Daredevil, but I may glance at it after the stream, maybe.
Hey, there we go. That's a big win for us, Mike.
I would recommend you literally just start from issue 1 from 98. Do the full run. Especially Kevin Smith. It's really intriguing. The synopsis is Mysterio is tired of being just a C-lister. And he's about to die, so he wants to go out in one last blaze of glory. So he orchestrates a series of events to make Matt believe that this child that he saved is actually either going to be the Antichrist or the next Messiah, and he's got to save this child. Meanwhile, it's just one big mind fuck from Mysterio going on, and Bullseye shows up and just fucking kills Karen Page because he
Yeah.
can. And it's great. It leads into the Mac run, which introduces you to Echo, and again, all of it
Mhm.
flows. So to really appreciate where Underboss starts, you really have to start from the beginning because it's a slow build, and every writer and artist who picks up from the previous team just keeps that rhythm going. It just never lulls. It just constantly builds. Every arc is better than the previous one,
Yeah.
all the way up to Lady Bullseye. Oh, I love Lady Bullseye.
Me too. Yeah, because this gets handed off to Brubaker, and where Brubaker goes is it's Brubaker's run is is phenomenal. But I did have to show this one because this is a great panel here. But Fisk gets into the prison to go see Mr. Silk, and he says, "Thank you for crying." And then something happens to Mr. Silk. I don't think he's around anymore, but it really makes Kingpin look. I mean, a really scary dude. Like he comes back really focused and like he's wearing all black, and he just comes off as this really scary figure, kind of lurking in the background, kind of planting these things and trying to set himself up to become Kingpin again. That is until issue 50. When Matt, this was number 3 in the crazy Matt fights. That's just usually
And we'll
it's
get
Matt.
there. We already went too far. Let's not go that much further.
We did. I wanted to get to the part where we were kind of had the year later break. So this was a good spot because this happens and then there's kind of a year later break and then it picks back up again. So I was gonna stop there, but we got about 10 minutes, but we can kind of get into anything you want, to be honest with you.
Bruce, any questions?
Yeah, Bruce,
Comments.
that's time for some questions.
Let's see. If Daredevil was constantly dealing with all his Catholic guilt, that all of the I know that his religion plays a big part in his life and his decisions and everything that he does. How does he justify being Daredevil?
That's part of the recipe. Is like he's constantly struggling with that. Like, and he rectifies that honestly through his lawyer work. That's the way that he uses that to kind of counterbalance what he does at night. But again, he realizes he's only, again, I keep making Batman references, but here we are. So many parallels. He's only one bad day from going full on Joker, and he knows that.
Yeah.
Like there's so many times where he's like teetering on that edge, like that fight with Bullseye. Like you think this is it. Like he's gonna kill him. Like he's done. He's done. And the way that he's written, you can relate to that. I mean, it doesn't matter. If somebody messed with your loved ones and your life to that extent, and you're dealing with everything else on top of that, like, man, like, who couldn't relate to that?
Yeah.
Being
like
that
I was gonna
no,
say,
I was gonna say, being that you guys know the history of Daredevil, Mike probably's been reading Daredevil a lot longer than most, I'm assuming.
Calling me old?
Yeah, I am. Of course I am.
Damn.
Why, you think I'm sugarcoated? Have you met? Oh, you haven't met me, but
I know, and this is how we meet. You calling me old?
Yeah, at least I didn't call you an asshole. That's reserved for Cali.
that's
reserved for Cali. Has he went through stages of giving up being Daredevil?
Oh yeah,
and trying to live a normal life.
Oh yeah. Again, without giving away too much. This run again, I'll keep saying it creates the formula. Like Matt will always struggle with being Daredevil. Matt will always feel guilty about being Daredevil. Matt will always stop being Daredevil. Matt will always go back to being Daredevil. Matt will always get incarcerated. While he's incarcerated, Matt will refine the reason of why he's Daredevil.
Yep.
Matt will always get exonerated from whatever the hell it is that sent him. And that's pretty much it. I mean,
Yeah,
you
and
know,
then
and
they
then the
just
cycle repeats
repeat.
itself,
Yep.
you know.
Throw in
But
a villain here and there, you know,
just
just add
because
a little wrinkle.
yeah, just because we watched a movie a bunch of times doesn't mean we don't enjoy it when we rewatch it, right? So,
Yeah,
but
true.
And then,
but
like Mike said, he's literally one bad day from becoming, you know, what he fights against. Like that conversation in the show with Punisher that they did. That's a panel from the comics, and it's the same kind of conversation about having that
Wait,
one.
there was a Punisher show?
Well, the Daredevil when Punisher was in Daredevil.
Oh, okay.
He had that conversation up on the roof when he has him chained up and stuff. And
yeah, but that's from Garth Ennis.
yeah, that's
That
Max stuff, which is
Yeah.
nope, no,
oh, no, that's
that was
Knights.
not
Yeah, that's
Max.
Knights.
That's
Yeah, that's
Marvel Knights.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
Knights. Yeah,
during
that
his
is.
first run of Marvel Knights,
Yeah.
Garth Ennis, where he had him up there. I think issue 6.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It
Punisher's
seems
my
like
shit.
it seems
I
like
have them all in Omni format, so I when it comes to the issues, I get
I want to hear your excuses.
Yeah, that's my big excuse. It's
Go
all
ahead,
just
Bruce.
one.
What
don't
were
let
you
him
gonna
talk to you like that, Zach. God damn you.
I
God
know.
damn it, Zach.
I know.
say? Yeah, you're a full member. I'm only a crow. Don't take that shit from
Yeah.
me.
Hey, dude, this has been great though to get to give one of our crows a platform to come showcase himself today. Because Mike, you've been awesome, man. It's been really good talking with you and listening to you try and help me
Are you
get
sure
Bruce
about
here to
that?
like some Marvel. He is wearing red today.
Well, it's Sunday, and I just feel very bloody. Sunday, bloody Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of in the theme of Daredevil.
Yeah, pretty much.
A
Also,
little
I'll
bit.
say my Hail Marys later.
Oh, good.
So, other than that, do you have any questions in regards to the character, or do you think you might have a generalized idea?
Yeah.
I think I have a. He seems like a. It seems like Batman light to me. He doesn't deal with all the crazy villains that Batman does, but he still struggles with how to balance his personal life, his superhero life.
Yeah.
But Batman really doesn't have any goddamn morals.
Yeah.
I mean, and he got all them gadgets, right? Like Matt does it all without the gadgets. I mean,
Yeah.
he has a baton, and it kind of like extends and somewhat helps him, like the grappling gun, but
Yeah.
he's not like Batman, man. He's just out there doing it with his fists. It actually takes a toll on his body, especially during this run. Like you see it, like when you see Matt, like it's like watching the John Wick movies, and you notice as the movies progress, he's starting to limp and move a little bit slower. Like it takes its toll on him. And while he doesn't have the extensive or really good rogues gallery that any of the other heroes do, because let's be honest, Stiltman and the Frog Guy,
which had we didn't even touch on that, has one of the most powerful stories in the whole thing when it comes to the Frogman and his son and what happens, we'll get into that, I guess, right now. That gives a little time.
Well, didn't that happen before that?
It does. It happens before. It's right at the beginning. It happens before Underboss.
You want a great story about Ben Ulrich. We'll just dive right into it. So the son of Frogman witnesses a battle between Matt and his dad. And his dad, his dad gets his ass kicked, and it kind of like messes with his head to that point, because he looks up at his dad like, my dad's my hero, right? But Daredevil's also my hero. I know Daredevil's a good guy. Why is a good guy beating up on my dad? That must mean I'm a bad guy. And it really messes with this poor kid's head, and he goes into kind of almost a shocked state, and he's not really communicating other than through his drawings. And Ben Ulrich comes and he finds out what's going on, and he could see, based upon this kid's drawings, what this kid really needs to heal. So it's a powerful story about, again, humanity. It's with Daredevil stories, it's not always the fights. It's about like the heart, and that is one of the best stories of that run. And the art by David Mack on that is just beyond words amazing. There's a
Well,
particular cover, I think it's issue 16, where Ben Ulrich's on the cover, and that's actually a photograph of David Mack that he used as reference.
oh, nice.
Cool.
We have a question from Callie Asshole. Would any of you honestly be mad if your friend didn't tell you were a local superhero? I feel like I'll react more like Ned on Spider-Man.
Yeah, I feel like I would probably be I'd be more like Ned from Spider-Man.
I mean, I think it would depend upon the hero, right? Like if it was
That's
somebody
true,
like
too.
super D-list, I'd be like, yeah, bro, I get why you kept that shit to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, if you're Frogman, dude, I get why
You know,
don't tell anybody.
if Callie comes out tomorrow and tells me he's the NFL super pro, I'm not going to be mad at him for keeping that shit quiet.
Well, first of all, I'm not going to believe him. I don't think he could fit in that uniform. But fuck Callie and fuck sports. No, I'm just kidding. No sports on this channel.
So there's no talk about Sportsmaster.
Condiments Man.
Condiment Man, yeah, dude, Condiment Man.
I like
no,
Pac-Man. Hell yeah.
I appreciate you coming, Mike. We got about 4 minutes left. We'll probably end a little bit early, but we'll be back in a couple weeks. Finish off the run. Talk about we'll go from 50 on, and yeah, get after it. Maybe we'll have some more people on. Guess we didn't really convince Bruce today. Maybe the second half of the run will convince you, Bruce. We'll see.
Well, an hour or 50 plus minutes isn't really enough time to convince anyone
That's true.
of anything. So,
well, we did have this passion and excitement about it, though. So hopefully that rubbed off on you.
I'm always for getting rubbed off on, so that usually works for me. And I just want to let everybody know.
I'm going first. I'm not rubbing second. I'm just saying.
Good. You can
Yeah,
go
nobody wants to be last. Nobody wants to be last. I will say this: tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern time on my channel, Kingdom of Nerds, Zach will join me on the Power Hour as we discuss Daredevil and Punisher movie. Will Marvel do it? That will be tomorrow's topic on the Power Hour tomorrow night. Make sure you bookmark that and hit the notification. I tried to force Callie to watch The Punisher so he could be on the panel tomorrow night, but he said, fuck me, and proceeded to read My Little Ponies.
He actually sent me a picture. It's actually really cool. Callie, thanks for sending me this, by the way. But it's like one of those life-size kind of pillows of a My Little Pony that he cuddles up on at night. He showed me it's like one of them long pillows. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that was right beside his Care Bear doll, which I didn't know a Care Bear doll has so many holes when it came to. I don't want to know what he does with that Care Bear doll. I don't want to know.
Kelly, you're the man, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Calling my brother a brony. You guys are fucked up. He's not a brody, damn it. Sure, he likes Powerpuff Girls, but we're not judging that.
No
we're not.
It's no judgment here. I thought the pillow was cool that he sent me, man. It looked pretty good.
Whoa.
Brony for life.
Well, I love you, Callie. Callie's the best.
So remember to hit the like, subscribe, tell your friends, share this out on your socials. Let them know if you're a Daredevil fan to come here and check out Zach's stream on Daredevil, joined by Mike, Guy there, and I, Lucifer, Kingdom of Nerds. And I guess this will be your first time ending a stream.
My first time ending a stream. Hey, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks for having me.
Bruce. And we'll see y'all in a couple weeks.
Don't go anywhere, Mike. Stay here, Mike. Don't leave.
Oh yeah, don't leave, Mike.
I don't know.
Anyways, as I was saying, I will see you all. I'll see you all later. Bye now. See you later. Bye.